All right, so you're interested in lithium, huh? What Russia controlling those Ukrainian mines really means.
Yeah.
Well, good. Let's dive into this.
Hmm.
It gets pretty wild.
Yeah.
We've got this article from metallinari.com. La Russia controlla il litio ucraino. Brutto colpo per il futuro energetico dell'UE.
Right.
Published just yesterday, January 16th, 2025. And we're also looking at this FAQ, Litio, Ucraina e Transizione Energetica. No source or date on that one.
Okay.
But it digs into some key questions. Buckle up, because the quest for white gold is shaking up the world as we know it.
It really is. It's incredible how this whole situation brings geopolitics, resources, and the future of energy, like all crashing together.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Exactly. It's like we're watching a real-time case study in how control over these resources can shift global power dynamics.
Yeah.
So let's start with Russia's capture of Shevchenko on January 11th. Why is this place so important?
Well, Shevchenko is located in Ukraine's Donetsk region.
Yeah.
It holds one of the country's largest lithium deposits. We're talking an estimated 500,000 tons.
Wow.
And as that metallinari.com article points out, it's considered one of the largest lithium deposits in all of Europe.
Okay, so we're not talking about some small-time lithium mine here. This is a big deal. But why should anyone listening care about lithium deposits in some far-off region?
Right.
I mean, think about your smartphone, your laptop, maybe even an electric car in your future.
Oh, yeah.
Lithium is the key ingredient in the batteries powering all those devices.
Precisely. And as demand for those technologies skyrockets, so too does the demand for lithium. It's often referred to as the new oil.
Oh, wow.
Control over those resources translates to significant leverage on the world stage. Big time.
So the war in Ukraine isn't just about territory. It's about controlling these crucial resources found in the Ukrainian shield.
Exactly. This isn't some regional conflict anymore. It's shaping the future of energy, technology, global power. The fight for resources like those found in the Ukrainian shield has global implications.
Can you unpack that Ukrainian shield for us? What makes it so special geologically speaking?
Sure. The Ukrainian shield is a massive, ancient rock formation. It sprawls across a huge part of the country. It's a treasure trove of resources, not just lithium.
Okay.
We're talking major reserves of iron ore and even those rare earth elements we hear so much about.
And those rare earth elements are in everything these days, right? From smartphones to those giant wind turbines.
Absolutely. Take neodymium, for example. It's crucial for making the incredibly strong magnets needed for things like wind turbine generators
Wow.
and electric vehicle motors. And it's found in abundance in the Ukrainian shield.
Okay. This is where things get really interesting, right? Our FAQ document mentioned how, before the war, Ukraine's lithium reserves were seen as a potential game changer for Europe, a way for them to become less reliant on other global players, especially China, for these critical resources.
Exactly. This event throws a major wrench in the EU's plans for a smooth transition to sustainable energy. It disrupts their goal of diversifying their lithium supply chain and reducing their dependence on China.
So what does this mean for Europe's green energy ambitions? Are they in trouble now?
It certainly complicates things. The EU was hoping to secure a stable and ethical supply of lithium from Ukraine. And now that's in question.
Oh, wow.
They'll have to scramble to find alternative sources,
Okay.
which could be more expensive or come with their own geopolitical baggage.
And that's a big setback for Europe, especially when you consider that Russia already has substantial lithium reserves of its own.
You're absolutely right. Even though Russia is already a major player in the lithium market, adding these Ukrainian deposits to their portfolio strengthens their position even further.
So this isn't just a territorial grab, it's a strategic move to control a vital resource for the future.
Precisely. It gives Russia a significant advantage in the global lithium market and potentially allows them to influence the development of key technologies down the line.
So the implications go way beyond just who controls which mine. This is about controlling the future of technology and energy. This raises a lot of questions about how this will play out in the global market. What happens to the price of lithium? What does this mean for the development of electric vehicles and renewable energy technologies?
Those are all excellent questions, and they highlight just how interconnected the world is when it comes to resources and geopolitics.
Yeah.
You know, it's wild.
It is wild.
Yeah.
It really does feel like this one event has sent shockwaves through the global lithium market. It makes you wonder, is this going to spark a scramble for lithium? Like some kind of modern day gold rush?
Oh, yeah. It's a real possibility. The metallinary.com article even suggests that this could be a significant turning point, potentially even leading to a resource race, as countries try to secure their own lithium supplies.
And wouldn't that just add fuel to the fire of existing geopolitical tensions?
Absolutely. The competition for lithium is already fierce.
Yeah.
This event could escalate things dramatically. Nations that were once content to rely on imports might now feel compelled to pursue their own sources, no matter the cost.
The FAQ document touches on this a bit, highlighting how competition for lithium is already shaping international relations and alliances. It's amazing how one element can have such a ripple effect across the globe.
It really does. It underscores how these resources aren't just about economics, they're deeply intertwined with power dynamics and global influence. Control over a resource like lithium can translate into some serious political and economic leverage.
It makes you wonder, what does this mean for the future? If control over resources like lithium is going to be this crucial, how will it reshape the global landscape?
That's the million-dollar question. We're potentially looking at a world where access to critical resources like lithium becomes like a defining factor in a nation's economic prosperity and technological advancement.
It also raises questions about sustainability. Can we meet this growing demand for lithium without causing significant environmental damage? And what about the people living in these resource-rich areas?
Those are crucial points. The metallinary.com article, they focus a lot on the geopolitical implications. But we can't ignore the human and environmental costs. Mining operations, especially if they're rushed or poorly regulated, can have devastating impacts on local communities and ecosystems.
It's a complex balancing act. We need lithium for this transition to cleaner energy sources, but we have to do it responsibly, right?
Exactly. We can't just charge ahead without considering the long-term consequences. The FAQ document emphasizes that, the importance of responsible resource management for a sustainable energy future.
So it's not just about who controls the lithium, it's about how we, as a global community, manage this crucial resource.
Precisely. We need to move beyond just a zero-sum mentality and start thinking of collaborative solutions. Can we develop more efficient extraction methods that minimize environmental impact? Can we improve recycling, reuse of lithium to reduce the need for new mining? These are the kinds of questions that we need to be asking.
It sounds like we need a fundamental shift in our thinking. We can't just keep operating under the same old assumptions and expect different results.
I completely agree. We need to embrace a more sustainable and equitable approach to resource management, one that prioritizes the well-being of both people and the planet.
This conversation is really highlighting the interconnectedness of everything. It's a reminder that these seemingly isolated events, they can have far-reaching consequences.
Absolutely. And it underscores the need for critical thinking, informed decision-making.
Yeah.
We can't just accept things at face value. We need to dig deeper, ask tough questions, consider multiple perspectives.
This has been an incredibly insightful conversation. I feel like I'm beginning to grasp the larger picture now.
Yeah, me too. I agree. It's remarkable how much we can learn when we take the time to explore these complex issues.
And that's what the deep dive is all about, right? Taking our listeners on this journey of discovery and deeper understanding.
Exactly. It's about empowering people with knowledge, helping them connect the dots, encouraging them to think critically about the world around them.
Well, on that note, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, the potential for a new resource race. That's a rather concerning thought.
It is, and it's something we need to be paying close attention to. As the demand for lithium and other critical minerals continues to rise, the competition for those resources, it's only going to intensify.
So what does this mean for global stability? Are we heading toward a future of increased conflict and tension over these vital resources?
That's a tough question to answer definitively. But I think it's safe to say that the potential for conflict, it's certainly there. We've already seen how this struggle for lithium is playing out in Ukraine, and there's no reason to believe other regions won't become flashpoints as well.
So what can be done? Is there any way to prevent this resource race from spiraling out of control?
That's the challenge, isn't it? Finding ways to manage these resources sustainably, ethically, and equitably. It's going to require international cooperation, innovation, and a willingness to think outside the box.
This is a lot to process, but it feels like a crucial conversation to have. We need to raise awareness and start brainstorming solutions.
Absolutely. The more we understand about these complex issues, the better equipped we'll be to navigate the challenges ahead.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here, but before we wrap up, there's one last piece of the puzzle I want to explore. Remember how we talked about the Ukrainian shield being this treasure trove of not just lithium, but also rare earth elements?
Yes, it's a critical detail. Adds another layer of complexity to this whole situation.
Exactly. Let's dive into that a bit more. What are the implications of Russia controlling access to these rare earth elements as well? It's almost like Russia hit the geopolitical jackpot,
Right.
you know, controlling both the lithium and the rare earths in that region. What kind of impact are we talking about here?
Well, it potentially gives them um, a chokehold on certain supply chains. Remember those rare earth elements we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Like neodymium.
Yeah.
They're not just in wind turbines. They're essential for high-performance magnets, used in everything from electric vehicles to guided missiles.
So this isn't just about clean energy anymore. It has implications for like defense and national security too.
Absolutely. The country that controls the supply of these critical minerals, they have a strategic advantage in developing and deploying these technologies.
This is starting to feel like a high-stakes game of chess, with Russia making a power move and the rest of the world scrambling to catch up.
Yeah, it's a pretty apt analogy. The Metallinari.com article, it argues that this move by Russia, it could trigger a global scramble for these rare earth elements, much like we're already seeing with lithium.
So what can other countries do? Are they just stuck playing catch-up?
Well, they have a few options, though none of them are easy or quick fixes. They could try to diversify their supply chains by sourcing these rare earth elements from other countries, although that could be pretty expensive and politically challenging.
What about investing in recycling and reusing these materials? Could that help reduce reliance on new mining?
Definitely. Recycling rare earth elements is a crucial part of the solution. Right now, recycling rates are quite low, but there's a lot of potential there. Developing more efficient recycling technologies, it could lessen dependence on new mining and reduce the environmental impact.
This situation really exposes the vulnerability of our global supply chains, you know? We've taken for granted the intricate networks that deliver us everything, from smartphones to wind turbines.
You're right. It's a wake-up call to reevaluate how we source and manage these crucial resources.
Yeah.
We can't just assume that the flow of materials will continue uninterrupted. We need to be proactive in creating more resilient and sustainable systems.
So it's not just about finding more lithium or rare earth elements, it's about rethinking the whole system.
Exactly. We need to move beyond the linear take, make, dispose model
Yeah.
and embrace a more circular economy. That means designing products for longevity, incorporating recycled materials, and minimizing waste.
This sounds like a massive undertaking requiring global cooperation and a major shift in mindset.
It does, but it's not impossible. We have the technology and the know-how. What we need now is the political will and a collective commitment to make it happen.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. We've gone from lithium mines in Ukraine to the future of the global economy and everything in between.
It's fascinating how one event can unravel so many interconnected issues.
It certainly highlights how much we still have to learn and how much work needs to be done to create a more sustainable and equitable future.
Absolutely. This conversation is just the beginning. We need to keep asking questions, challenging assumptions, exploring solutions.
And for anyone listening who wants to delve deeper, be sure to check out the show notes for links to the source material. Who knows? Maybe this will spark some ideas for how we can build a more resilient and responsible future. Until next time.